What up, fam? This is Chief X, the God Best reincarnated, bringing this common sense science again. I'm going to make this real short and brief and clear. We're going to define who is an aboriginal. Okay? Who is an aboriginal? When you look up definitions, we're going to shut this down because no Africans or African Americans have the right to claim the title Aboriginal. The title Aboriginal is only for one people, and that is the original Australians who got there 50,000 years ago. The first people to leave out of Africa approximately 70,000 years ago, 20,000 years later, after they left Africa, they landed in Australia. And they call those people Aboriginal peoples. It's not a term for Africans or African Americans. Let's just get this clear and shut it down right away. And we're going to look at the definition of Aboriginal everywhere it comes up. Aboriginal. Adjective. An adjective describes. A noun is a person, place, or thing. So look here. Noun. Aboriginal. An aboriginal inhabitant of a place. A person belonging to one of the indigenous peoples of what? Australia. Did it say Africa? No. Did it say India? Did it say Mexico? Did it say Japan? China? No. It says a person belonging to the indigenous peoples of Australia. That's what the noun is, a person, place, or thing. So this is telling you who an aboriginal is. People need to stop using the term aboriginal. I don't know why y'all go back and forth with these fake-ass aboriginals who claim to be aboriginals when just off Jump Street, they don't even know the damn definition. They don't even know who aboriginal is. They still in a term that they're clueless about. This is why I told Dr. Ali Muhammad 5 years ago, you need to take that Aboriginal Association name down. You're not an Aboriginal. Aboriginal is for Australian people. Okay, let's just go next. Let's see what Merriam's have to say. Being the first or earliest known of its kind present in a region. Now, it goes down to the noun, person, place, or thing. Aboriginal. Aboriginals. Let's scroll down. Let's just give you an example of aboriginals in a sentence. The Aboriginal peoples of Australia. It didn't name any other country. It only said Australia. Now, to be technical about it, Aboriginal is a term given to the Inuits, Eskimos. Sometimes they're considered Aboriginal, first people of that land, inhabiting that land. It also is given to some Canadians, the Native Americans and Canadians. But basically, it's a term for original Australians. People who landed in Australia 50,000 years ago. Out of Africa was 70,000 years ago, approximately. And when they left out of Africa, 20,000 years later, they landed in Australia. And they're called Aboriginal people. This was 50,000 years ago. Okay? Okay, well, even here, I didn't see the Aboriginal. Specifically, often capitalized of or relating to the indigenous peoples of what? Australia. No other country, no other people. Okay, we did a dictionary. We did Merriam's. Let's go to the next one in order. Oxford. Definition of aboriginal. adjective. It's describing what an aboriginal is. Then it goes to the noun. What does it say? Wait a minute. Relating to the Australian Aborigines or their languages. Did it say Japan? Did it say Africa? Did it say the USA? China? Did it say anybody else? No, it said Australian. That's who the Aboriginals are. We're going to continue. We did Merriam's, we did Oxford, we did the dictionary. Let's just go on down in order. Let's see what the fucking Urban Dictionary has to say. Aboriginal, traditional, owner of Australia. The first people in Australia. Did it say Japan? China? Africa? No, it didn't. The first people in Australia was the Aboriginals, long before British settlement. It gives a little humor down here. Aboriginal, the indigenous race. Excuse me, I almost burped. The indigenous race of Australia. Can you see? Is your vision clear? Okay, next. We did Oxford. We did the Urban Dictionary. Let's scroll on down to the next one. This one just strictly says Aboriginal Australians on Wikipedia. We don't need to go to Wikipedia. It's just going to tell you all over Australia, Australia, Australia. Let's go on down next. What's this? The Cambridge. What the fuck does the Cambridge got to say? Let's see. Let's just scroll down and see. Well, they don't have much in here. It's just giving you an adjective. They don't even have the noun here. Well, they have a noun, aborigine. An aborigine basically is the same thing. It's an original Australian. So sometimes you'll hear people say aborigine, aboriginal. It's all the same thing. But this one doesn't tell you who. It doesn't. It's there. Let's see what Duhame organization has to say. And it gives you the definition. Okay, but I wanted to scroll down and show you. Although synonymous with indigenous, they're synonymous, but not exactly the same. The term Aboriginal is in vogue in certain jurisdictions, such as Canada, like I said earlier. Didn't I say Canada? And Australia. And it goes on down. Basically, it's just talking about Australia again. It didn't say any other country. Let's just go to what's next. The Collins Dictionary. Here we go. Aboriginal means belonging or relating to the Australian Aborigines. Like I said, sometimes they use the word Aborigine, sometimes they say Aboriginal, but it's all talking about Australian people, the original people of Australia. Of or relating to characteristic of the indigenous peoples of Australia. Stop stealing people's titles. In history and science, internationally, and just for universal communication, the word Aboriginal is for original Australians, no one else. Let's just cut the bullshit. I wanted to go here and show you something too. Vocabulary, Aboriginal, excuse me. The native indigenous peoples of a country are often called Aboriginals. In Canada, the First Nations, Inuits, like Eskimos. Okay? This is what I wanted to do. Native. Now, it's tricky. Synonym, native. So when you click on native, I like this definition. Okay? Native. The word native has to do with where you're from. You're native to the country where you were born. You guys are going to hate this, but I'm a Native American. You guys are Native Americans. Everyone's listened to this and was born in America. You're a Native American because you were born here. Just like they have native plants. These plants are from this area. They were born and bred there. Okay? So word native has to do with where you're from. You're native to a country where you were born. And places have native plants and animals too. And it breaks it down. Things that are native are indigenous. They were born there. This is where the term Native Americans come from. They were on this land before Europeans came over. Native plants were originally in a place. They weren't transplanted. They were originally there and born there. The Native American culture was born and bred there once they migrated there. Once peoples of East Asian types migrated, then the Native American culture was born and bred. Okay? Off that. So now, that's all I wanted to show. That the word aboriginal is only a title for original Australians. The people who got there 50,000 years ago after leaving out of Africa. They left out of Africa approximately 70,000 years ago. 20,000 years ago, the migration of those first out of Africa landed in Australia. Also, Tasmanian people are considered Aboriginal. It's an island off of Australia. Sometimes Pacific Islanders are considered Aboriginal, but not really. Okay? So, when we look at the map, they left out of Africa. 20,000 years later, these people landed here in Australia. These are called Aboriginal people. Now, hear this little island right there? That's Tasmania. Those people that was killed and genocide committed on them. Tasmania. Just a little island. A spot of land off of Australia. So Australians and Tasmanian people who look like them archaic humans. Now, I'm not trying to clown, but them Tasmanian people look like archaic humans. They got a little dark-skinned Neanderthal look. Because they were the earliest people. They didn't evolve. When people landed over here, they were isolated from the rest of the world. We were intermixing all around here as humans. Over here, they were isolated. They didn't exchange like the rest of the world. That's why their genetic structure is different than the rest of us. Aboriginal is not a term for Africans or African Americans or any other race of people. Leave that title alone. You don't even need to argue with these Aboriginal cats. Just let them know they got the name they calling themselves is wrong off the rip. We don't need to talk no further about your ideology. Your name is fucked up. Chief X, I'm out of here.